do a little bit of coding and a little bit of 3D modeling and a little bit of mechanical engineering and electrical engineering stuff. So it all falls under the same kind of umbrella.
Good evening, Northern Colorado. This is Whiskey Zero, Delta Delta Zulu. My name is Dave, and I am in Greeley. I will be net control for this evening's Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Net. The purpose of this net is to provide a forum for announcements of amateur radio-related events, a meeting time on air to encourage social interaction between club members, and to provide a point of contact for club board members. This net may be interrupted at any time for emergency or priority traffic. If you need to use the system for an emergency during the net, please say break and give your call sign. We will acknowledge you and suspend the net until you advise you are clear. Is there any emergency or priority traffic before we begin? All licensed amateur radio operators with 70 centimeter privileges are encouraged to check into this net. Club membership is encouraged but not required for participation. This net will begin as a directed net and shift into an open net. There will be an opportunity for stations with equipment to sell to announce those items. Check-ins are requested for the purposes of counting participation with no checkout required. Once all stations have checked in, Net Control will ask the club executive board members if they have any announcements, and then we'll call for announcements from other operators. Please be courteous once the formal portion of the net is over and allow for breaks for other stations to be a part of the conversation. When checking into the net, please give your call sign slowly using the standard ITU phonetic alphabet. We have had 19 early check-ins, including N7GES, club secretary, KC0ZIE, Darren, the club treasurer, and myself, W0DDZ. I am the club public affairs officer. I will start by taking check-ins from club board members. Club board members who have not already checked in, please call now.
Good evening, Dave. This is November 0, Echo Mike Papa, Greg, Fort Collins, member at large, no traffic.
Good evening, Greg. Any other board members who'd like to check in, please call. I will now take check-ins from club members. Club members who have not already checked in, please call.
This is W7 Radio, Fox Mobile. November 0, Quebec, X-ray, Quebec. Gene, good evening. Kilo 5, Bravo, Bravo, Charlie, and there was a bunch of doubles.
No, we had some doubling going on there. The net would like to recognize W7RF, Dan, N0NYY, Bart, N0QXQ, Gene, and K5BBC, Phil. Any other check-ins that I missed? Club board or club members, please call. Hearing none, we will move to all stations. All stations who would like to check into tonight's net, please call.
Dave, you got a buzz on your audio. You might have to change the battery if you're on an HT.
It's a heterodyne with everybody's signal, N7GES.
Yeah, I'm hearing it on everybody's signal also. Thanks, Greg. Any other stations, club members, non-members, anybody who'd like to check in, please call.
Good evening, Internet.
The last station, I got Kilo. I didn't catch anything else. Please come again.
Kilo 8 Golf Echo Echo Jerry Fort Collins.
This is W0 DAS Whiskey 0 Delta Alpha Sierra Dave in Fort Collins.
Good evening, Jerry and Dave. Any other stations who'd like to check into tonight's net, please call. Hearing none, we will now move on to the net business. N7 GES, do you have anything for tonight's net?
Yeah, thank you, Dave. This is sort of non-NCARC related, but a general purpose announcements. Tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock is the monthly meeting of the Preparedness Education Group, and we are having a non-official but still well-produced CPR training. This will be more refresher than official because we're unable to issue cards, but the training is certainly given by a very qualified person, Chet KC0DSJ, and that will be at 7 p.m., but a new location, Christ United Methodist Church in Fort Collins, 301 East Drake Road, room 207, which is on the main floor. Or walk in on 147-42 Simplex, or maybe better do Budweiser, full 47. I can't remember that frequency. Somebody else can fill that in because I know we're gonna have ARES net at the same time. Thank you very much. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Fort Collins, 301 East Drake Road. 7 GES.
Thank you for that, Kevin. We had quite a bit of buzz on your signal. Does anybody have any questions for Kevin before we move on? Hearing none. Darren, do you have anything for tonight's net?
I think you were calling me. No, just checked in, just checking in, saying hello, and that's it for me. Nothing but just to say hello and good evening to everyone. W7 Automobile.
Very good, Dan. Always good to hear you. KC0 ZIE, do you have anything for tonight's net?
Thanks, Dave. Nothing for the net. Back to you, KC0 ZIE.
Very good. And Greg, I know you said you had no traffic. I just figure I'll give you one more opportunity if you have anything for tonight's net.
Nope, nothing here, Dave, and 0 EMP.
Very good. I have just a couple of announcements. The time has come again for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Technicians class. We have set that up for 2 Saturdays. That's going to be September 22nd and September 29th. These are going to be all-day classes from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. There will be a test on September 29th. This is being done by the Laurel Group, so the entire event will be free, including the testing, and we will have lunch there. So if you have any buddy who is interested in taking that class, please get in touch with Joe. Send him an email at president@ncarc.net. That testing is going to be held at the Poudre Valley REA, 7649 REA Parkway in Fort Collins, just east of I-25 on Colorado 92. Any questions about the technicians class, please call.
Say again dates, K0FNL.
Good evening, Mark. We are doing the technicians class again this year. It's going to be held on Saturday, September 22nd and Saturday, September 29th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Poudre Valley REA building at 7649 REA Parkway in Fort Collins. The test session is going to be on the 29th, and it'll be held by the Laurel Group. So it will be free, and we will have lunch both days.
Roger, 22-29 September, thanks. K0FNL.
And my other announcement is the Weld County Fair is coming up this weekend, and the Wars Club has been putting together a remote station that will be a special event station on the 28th, this Saturday. They are going to be transmitting from the fair, and they will be at the fair representing amateur radio. So if you guys hear them on the air, please check in with them. And if you want to go see them at the fair, they will be down at the Weld County Fair. Any questions about that?
Yeah, W7RF.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
Will they be on HF, and will they have a special event call sign?
Yes, they will be. They're thinking that they're going to be probably pretty much on 20 and 40 meter the entire time. And the special event station is W0C. That's Whiskey Zero Charlie.
And that's this coming weekend, is it?
That is correct. That'll be this Saturday, the 28th, and they should be there operating all day.
Do they have any special certificate or QSL card for contact?
Yes, the certificate is going to be delivered digitally, so they will get you on the list, and then you'll be able to go to the website and download the certificate.
Okay, Dave, that sounds like fun. 73, and thank you for the information. W7 Radio, Fox Mobile.
Absolutely, Dan. Any other questions about either of those announcements or any of the announcements tonight, please call. Hearing none, are there any other board members who wish to check in at this time? Do any stations have any questions for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club board? Are there any other stations that have announcements for the net tonight? Please call. Hearing none, we have now reached the gear swap portion of the net. Are there any stations with equipment to sell or stations looking for a piece of equipment? Please call.
W0ASP.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
Down here in Berthoud at our little Thompson Observatory, we have been looking at meteor scatter from television transmissions in the lower VHF band from 54 to 88 megahertz. And like always, we have interference. And trying to chase that down, it would be nice to get my hands on a radio that could receive sideband between 50 and 80 megahertz. SDRs tend to be a bit clumsy because you have to drag a computer around with you. And the TH-74 is a possible option, but it's a little bit pricey. I was wondering if anybody had any suggestions or options and anything they might be willing to get rid of. W0ASP.
W7RF.
Go ahead, Dan.
I use an ICOM R1 handheld, and it's a shortwave, VHF, UHF, all mode handheld scanner type receiver. It's really a great utility device. So look for on eBay or wherever for an ICOM R1. They do make, I think, an R2 or R3 or something like that. That's more expensive and newer, but the R1 works good. Also, you may find the Kenwood THF6 2-meter 220 440 handheld is also an excellent choice for general coverage receiver that does sideband CW as well as FM. W7RF.
Fox Zero, Colorado, boy.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
If you're looking for an HT, I got a Kenwood. I think it'll do everything you want. Wait a minute, though. Did you say you wanted HF on that? I don't think it'll do that. I'll have to check it, and I don't know what I've done with the book.
Yeah, Terry, will you come again with the frequencies that you're looking to hit? You did break up a bit during the last transmission where you said the frequencies that you were interested in.
Roger that. I will repeat the frequencies. We are looking for frequencies between 50, 50, and 88 megahertz. Essentially the 6-meter band and the lower VHF television band.
Well, at least there were a couple good options from Dan, and I'll leave you to get with CB. Maybe his handheld has some of that capability. Is there any other stations with equipment to sell or stations who are looking to get a piece of equipment? Please call.
I got what you call a decent price on mine. I don't have the antenna, and it needs a new battery. But the radio is if you buy that, you get the radio.
Did you have a model number on that radio there, Mike, for Terry?
Give me a few minutes because I can't see. That's my problem. It's one of the older ones that had everything it was. Give me a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, no problem. And while we're doing that, is there any other stations with equipment to sell or stations looking to get a piece of equipment? Please call. Hearing none, do any other stations have any special topics for tonight's net? This is Whiskey Zero Delta Delta Zulu for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Weekly Net. Are there any late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion before we close the net this evening?
W0ASP again.
Yeah, go ahead, Terry.
Someone checking in earlier mentioned that they were getting a 3D printer, and I was going to suggest a possible topic for a TechNet is 3D printers in amateur radio, how we could use them, why we would use them, and what we might be able to do with them.
Fox Zero Colorado boys, see if I got it.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
It's a Kenwood, Tango Hotel, I forgot the other one now. Tango Hotel, Golf 71. Tango Hotel 71. But it does need an antenna and needs a battery. But the radio's there. It used to be one of the better radios when I got it.
Very good. Did you get that information, Terry?
GES.
Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Is one of my topics on my list, and since there's some interest, maybe we'll move it up a bit. Thank you, N7GES.
Yeah, and that was Alec KC0SUN, who is getting a 3D printer, and I believe that the other Kevin KE0SPF already had a printer. Yes, I think it'd be a great topic for a TechNet.
Much for the suggestion, N7GES.
Are there any other late check-ins, comments, questions, or other discussion for the net before we close this evening?
Yeah, it's a Kenwood, Tango Hotel 71. Oh, where to go? Goes before the 71.
Got that. That is the Kenwood Tango Hotel Golf 71.
That would be correct.
Very good. And did you get that down, Terry?
Roger, copy Tango Hotel Golf 71 Kenwood HT.
Very good. Are there any other late check-ins, comments, or questions for the net before we close this evening?
MIC.
Go ahead, Mark.
Terry, I have a Kenwood D74, Delta 74, which will receive single sideband in the range from 54 megahertz, 5.4, up through 76.76. That's not quite as wide as the range you asked for, but it will do that, and you are welcome to borrow it.
Thank you, Mark, and that would probably do the job for what we're looking at presently. We're looking at 66 megahertz and just a little bit higher.
Okay, well, contact me after the net, and we can arrange something.
That'd probably work for you. That's probably the one you're going to take instead of taking this out. Then you'd be stuck with a radio. So we'll plan on you taking Mark up on his offer there.
Oh, very good. Is there any other questions, comments, or other discussion before we close the net? Please call.
This is KE0SPF. Would I be able to get the call sign again of the gentleman who I was talking to 3D printing about with?
Yes, that was Kilo Charlie 0 Sierra Uniform November. The name is Alec, Alpha Limo Echo Charlie.
Thank you much.
Not a problem. Is there any other questions, comments, or other discussion before we close? Hearing none, this concludes the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Net. Net Control would like to thank each station for their participation. This net will occur next Wednesday at the same time on this repeater. The repeater is now open for general use. This is Whiskey 0 Delta Delta Zulu for the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club Net. This presentation was brought to you by the Northern Colorado Amateur Radio Club. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.